What is up, guys and gals, finessers and finessettes, fonzes and fonzettes? Today, Cool Hand Hefe bringing you some Charlemagne action. Now, I promised someone I would attempt to get the scarab camo pattern on this particular vessel. I could not even get it to show up, so that is my bad for everybody who is looking for that. Now, let's get back to it. Very important here. Let me tell you my thoughts, feelings, inspirations, what have you, on this particular vessel. So, I enjoy it. Let me go ahead and give you the overview. I enjoy it. The only thing off-putting is the really weird stack. The smoke stack throws me off. I don't like to look at it. I don't like to make eye contact with it. In the scheme of things, it's a small matter. It doesn't actually affect anything as far as your statistics, your numbers, what have you. I just want to get that out of the way. That's the only thing I am not on board with. Now, let's talk about the good points. This vessel is extremely fast. Mid-40s as far as, speed goes. It's got the sonar, the fighter plane, as well as an engine boost. So, a lot of different options. Now, the guns are very, very solid. You've got around a 15-ish reload. It's not crazy. Well, 12, I think. Sorry, 12-second reload. It's not a blistering DPM, but it's not lengthy either. The guns are very, very punchy. You'll see me citadel a battleship here at some point in this, a few times, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I recorded this today, and I can't remember already. What are you going to do? Now, very maneuverable as well. Now, granted, of course, we take some rounds, and we really get touched. So, it's not crunchy. Just keep that in mind. And you shouldn't necessarily be in a cruiser thinking it's crunchy anyway. Shot avoidance is extremely important. Now, moving on. Now, guys, we are doing exactly what cruisers need to be doing. Now, granted, I know you're saying, well, we've seen you do this, this, and this in the stream. Sometimes, more often than not, I get impatient. And patience is truly a virtue, guys. If you want to be successful in cruisers, you have to understand that, aside from DD hunting, support fire is your main job. You need to make sure that the BBs don't get touched by the destroyers. And, you do that by giving them an escort. One battleship by itself can easily be taken down, but it needs a support system, and you are part of that support system. Now, granted, of course, we're not necessarily going out there actively hunting DDs, but you also have to use your own judgment. If I pull out in front of multiple battleships, what exactly do you think is going to be the end result of me doing that? I'm not certain, but I can for sure tell you it is not going to be a good thing. And I would probably already be dead by now. So, you need to play your role in this particular case, but at the same time, you also need to use your head. Will this make any sense for me? Should I even do this? Whatever. Back to the game at hand. Once again, this is how cruisers should be played. Support fire, not taking any risky shots. As you can see here, we're next to cover. We're firing out. There are multiple targets. They don't have to engage us. We're taking our time. We're picking and choosing shots. We did manage to switch to armor piercing here, simply because we haven't had a lot of shots with the ability to use this. You don't necessarily you know, want to go for anything other than a 100% flat 90-degree broadside for battleship. Obviously, cruiser, you can really make it talk, but you know, considering this is most of what we have been putting rounds on as battleships, we elected to shoot the high X. And the reason I say it has to be a 90-degree flat angle is your guns aren't going to have enough horsepower, i.e. they're not going to have enough penetration to really manage to pull some citadels at an off angle of a battleship. Now, we are going to put some AP on the side of this gentleman right here. He is returning fire. We started reversing a minute ago. He did touch us, and it wasn't very gentle. That's fine. We are returning the favor. However, we don't have a large max damage, so we're not doing a whole lot, you know, off the jump. A little bit about the guns. This particular vessel has 2 forward super firing triple guns and 1 stern triple firing triple barreled gun. Sorry, blur. So you've got 9 rounds you can shoot at any given time. Sets fires very well. Now, as far as the captain goes, I cannot remember offhand what commander I do have. However, he is only leveled up to 6, and as of current, I do not have any upgrades on this vessel either. And typically when I do my meet the whatevers, you know, on the premium ships, I try to run them 100% stock to give folks an idea, you know, what it's capable of. Now, as far as the game goes, personally here, we're doing okay. We've got 2 down for the bad guys, 1 down for us, 3 down for the bad guys, and we're pushing 60,000 damage. But it is not a quick game here. We're taking our time. We're being very cautious. We're shooting behind cover. We're making sure we have friendlies around us to give the bad guys something else to shoot at. You have to do all of these things all at once in order to survive. You know, if you go out there and, you know, immediately get touched, you know, because you're at the head of the pack, and, you know, the bad guys have nobody else to shoot at, you know, you can't necessarily say, oh, well, it's the ship's fault. The ship isn't any good. It may, in fact, be operator error. So just make sure. And this ship may not be your cup of tea, folks. Personally, I like it. I enjoy the fast, maneuverable, good guns. I enjoy that type of thing. As far as the armor goes, though, there's very few cruisers out there that are truly crunchy. I mean, you know, the Japanese vessels are particularly crunchy, but this one is not. I mean, and they're not even super crunchy. So just keep that in mind. And it's not that you should be coming into a French ship with a preconceived notion on how tough it is. So just kind of keep that in mind. We are putting some rounds on this gentleman right here. And we're just pulling up enough to where we can keep the guns on target. And if anything goes south, we can throw the engines over to reverse and get the heck out of there. He is not currently very concerned about us, which is exactly what we want to do. If you guys have ever seen any of my videos, what I'm always repeating over and over again, primarily I say it with destroyers, but it works good for anybody. You always want to fire on people, attack people who are already engaged. That way they're not looking at you, they're not concerned with you, and you can go about your business and do the murder, and it doesn't really bother. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Now, however, we are quickly becoming a primary target. He touches the absolute mess out of us. So we are backing off. We're going to continue laying down a thick run of fire right there as we fall back. And we're going to go ahead and do a couple of things right now. We're going to see, you know, for example, what the torpedoes look like. You know, what kind of angle can we get laid down here? We're reversing. He is pushing. We're going to kind of look behind us and see, you know, where we exactly have to steer the vessel in order to kind of navigate to our 6 o'clock. So we're doing all of these things at once here, in between shots. And you don't necessarily want to interrupt your flow of damage per minute. So as you can see here, I'm only doing it in between. I'm going to adjust rudder up there just a little bit to make sure we can kind of make it through that gap, because I have a feeling that this particular gentleman is going to continue to push on us until he kills us. And we are not fans of that. We don't want that. 120,000 damage. Just posted up, biding our time. We have a Kagero here. Coming around the back, we're going to see if we can't angle up a little bit, throw a set of fish behind us. 1 in a million chance we're going to connect with them anyway. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and throw them just to be on the safe side. Unfortunately, if that Kagero runs the guns on us hardly at all, he will kill us. So we're really a glass cannon at this point, folks. We have to be very, very cautious. And make sure we don't go out there, we don't overcommit. We do want to last the entirety of the game, and it would be a shame to have such a solid game and then die right there before the ending of it. So, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, you know what, I've stayed alive this long. This guy, he can kill me, but he's going to have to pay full price. As you can see there, we're checking the torp guide. We want to definitely make sure we get some shots on him. This gentleman is deciding to pull out here. Looks like the Kagero just got removed. We're still steady with the torpedoes there, and it looks like he's just kind of posting up right here. And anytime I see his guns turn towards me, I am on the move, and that's exactly what's going on right here. We managed to set him on fire again. Managed to also get a high caliber, which is good news. And now we're just going to kind of post up here and wait for him to become non-interested in us. Well, actually, never mind. That particular gentleman died. We're going to come out and pull out and take some shots on the other guy. But either way, it's neither here nor there. It is over. 478,000 credits, 130,000 damage. Arsonist. High caliber. You know, we went out there and we made it happen. We had a lot of fun, and in my honest opinion is I would recommend this if you like good guns maneuverability. Now, it doesn't have the Holy Trinity. It doesn't have armor, firepower, and mobility, but nothing is going to be very good on all three of those fronts. So, you know, this has 2 out of 3 in my opinion. It is a very, very solid performer, and I would recommend it, worth the money. Guys, really hope you enjoyed this. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Check the World of Warship Peeps down below in the description box for other cool YouTubers like me.